Good morning, dear students. How are you? So we were reading the chapter Landscape of the Soul, in which we have studied about Chinese art and European art. And as you know, the author has made a comparison between the Chinese view of art and the European view of art. So they are just two different poles, because European art is realistic, whereas Chinese art is not real and actual one. It is actually the projection of the spiritualism or the imagination or the soul of the artist, because the painter or the artist does not want you to look at his creation from one single viewpoint. He wants you to enter his imagination, his mind and soul to understand his painting. Whereas European art is able to produce an illusionistic likeness. It becomes real due to this likeness. It produces an illusion of the things as perceived by the painter. So we had read about these two views of art, and the author has also talked about sanshui, which is mountain water, which is actually termed as landscape. So in this landscape is known as sanshui, yang and yin. So you have read the details of it. If not, please read it again. If you have not understood, you can talk to me and also message or give the comments. Now today we are going to talk about outsider art. Outsider art means that the artist is not formally trained or tutored. Therefore, it is also known to be raw art or art brut, because the person who makes a creation as per his imagination and his perception does not hold any formal training as an artist. He is not an artist, but his visualization of certain things, when they seem to be achieved and real, that particular art or the aspect of art became a new branch of art, we can say, which was called as outsider art. Outsider art, raw art or art brut. So all these terms are given to the outsider art. Now we are going to read about the most famous person, Nek Chand from India, who had excelled in this particular outsider art technique of the artist. He had a vision to make a huge garden by using the waste material, and with the help of which he could produce such a great work of art, which brought him both recognition and popularity. So what is this outsider art, and who was Nek Chand? What did he do? How did he gain so much of fame and popularity? Let us read the chapter and we will continue the chapter. So please follow the video ahead of it. So dear students, you can see the personality before you is Nek Chand Saini. He is seen with his Padma Shri, which he received in 1984 in the picture. He was born on 15th December 1924 in Bariya Kalan, Shakargarh, pre-partition, which is Gurdaspur district, British Indian Empire, which is now in Pakistan. He died on 12th June 2015 at the age of 90 in Chandigarh, India. His nationality is Indian. He is known for the architecture and sculpture. His notable work is the Rock Garden of Chandigarh, and this movement, this kind of art, is called as outsider art. And as I told you before, the award that he has received is the Padma Shri. He hailed from Shakargarh Tehsil. Shakargarh was previously in Gurdaspur district in British India, but now falls in district Narowal in Pakistan. His family moved to Chandigarh in 1947 during the partition. They moved to Chandigarh in 1955. At the time, the city was being redesigned as a modern utopia by the Swiss or French architect Le Corbusier. Utopia means a place which is an ideal place, which is a place where everything is perfect and right. So, Chandigarh is the city which was to be redesigned by Swiss or French architect Le Corbusier. He was a French architect. It was to be the first planned city in India, and Chand found work there as a roads inspector for the Public Works Department, which is known as PWD commonly, in 1951. He was awarded the Padma Shri Award by the Government of India in 1984. He died in 2015. Now this beautiful picture before you is of the entrance of the Rock Garden. It's a waterfall at Rock Garden. The Rock Garden is one of the most famous sites in India. Chand, its creator, died in 2015, but it is still visited by millions of people every year. And it is said that 5,000 people per day used to visit this place. In his spare time, Chand began collecting materials from demolition sites around the city. He recycled these materials into his own vision of the divine kingdom of Sukrani, choosing a gorge in a forest near Sukna Lake for his work. The gorge had been designated as a land conservancy, a forest buffer, as a buffer established in 1902 that nothing could be built on. Chand's work was illegal, but he was able to hide it for 18 years before it was discovered by the authorities in 1975. By this time, he had grown into a 13-acre, 5.3 hectares complex of interlinked courtyards, each filled with hundreds of pottery-covered concrete sculptures of dancers, musicians, and animals made from recycled materials. Chand built up the mass with a cement and sand mix before adding a final coating of smoothly burnished pure cement combined with waste materials such as broken glass, bangles, crockery, mosaic, and iron foundry slag. Now, slag is the remaining part of the rocks from which the iron has been extracted, or you can call it as the waste material left out after the extraction of the metal from the rock. So iron foundry slag. So he used all these material, the waste material in fact, to produce a very creative product of his own imagination. Now in this chapter we also will read about the outsider art. This is the article written by Brinda Suri, published in the Hindustan Times on 20th August 2005. In this she has described about a different type of art which is known as raw art. It is also called as art brut because when it was first started in 1940s by Jean Dubuffet, French painter, it was not that popular, which has taken place or which has grown very fast in the interest of the international painters or visionaries. Then French painter Jean Dubuffet mooted the concept of art brut. Look at the meaning of mooted. Mooted means to suggest so that everybody accepts the idea. So when he suggested the concept, the idea of art brut in the 1940s, the art of the untrained visionary. Now you have to pay attention to the word untrained. And they are visionaries, they have only imagination. So such artists who are untrained and they have not received any kind of formal training in art, they are just the visionaries, and they used to make such good pieces of art. Therefore their art was called as outsider art. Outsider art made by the people who were not formally or professionally trained as artists. They were just untrained people, and it was of minority interest. People did not take, very few people took interest in that. From its almost veiled beginnings, veiled means covered, concealed. So from its concealed beginnings, concealed because not many people knew about it, outsider art has gradually become the fastest growing area of interest in contemporary art internationally. But now this art is growing and more people are taking interest in that, and it is growing at internationally. Therefore this genre is described as the art of those who have no right to be artists, as they have received no formal training. They have not received any formal training. Therefore this genre of art is called as outsider art or art brut. Yet they show talent and artistic insight. These people are not trained, but they have an inherent talent and artistic insight, the power of perceiving the things and observing things. Their works are a stimulating contrast to a lot of mainstream offerings. Mainstream offerings are the trends followed by the artists who undergo a formal training. And these people, their works were a stimulating contrast to them. Around the time the Dubuffet was propounding his concept in India, an untutored genius was creating paradise. So Dubuffet, the French sculptor, painter, who was explaining his concept at that time in India, there was an untutored genius who was creating paradise. So just a few minutes ago I told you about Naik Chand, and in this part of the chapter we are reading about this genius who was untutored. Untutored, have you understood what does it mean? Yes, untutored, who is not trained formally. Years ago, the little patch of jungle that he began clearing to make himself a garden sculpted with stone Its 80-year-old creator director Nek Chand is now hailed as India's biggest contributor to outsider art. The 50th issue, Spring 2005 of Raw Vision, a UK-based magazine pioneer in outsider art publications, features Nek Chand and his rock garden sculpture Women by the Waterfall on its anniversary issue's cover. So, this is the fame that Nek Chand got because of this rock garden. Rock garden is the best example of outsider art. Nek Chand was not a trained artist. He just had a vision to make certain sculpture with the help of waste material. But he got recognition by the UK-based magazine Raw Vision, and in its 50th issue, he was featured along with the rock garden sculpture Women by the Waterfall. It was published on its anniversary issue's cover in 2005. The notion of art brut or raw art was of works that were in their raw state, beginning state, or the starting of the state. Raw state as regards cultural and artistic influences. So this kind of art, the outsider art, did not get much fame or recognition either culturally or artistically. There was no influence, in fact, a very meager influence was there on the people. So this art was also called as raw art because it was in a very primary state due to the cultural or artistic influence. Anything and everything from a tin to a sink to a broken down car could be material for work of art. So what was the material used by Nek Chand? The waste material used by Nek Chand was tin and sink, broken sink, and any part of the broken down car. The cars which were of no use, which had been damaged either in the accidents or destroyed. So all these material, whatever he could get as a waste material, served to be the basic source for making his work of art. This was something that Nek Chand has taken to dizzying heights, such lofty heights, dizzying heights, such heights which you cannot even think of, and when you look at it you really feel that it has gained such great popularity. Recognizing his art as an outstanding testimony of the difference a single man can make, and Nek Chand did this or made this rock garden all alone. Only later on he was given some helping hands or servants to help him out, but he started his vision as a single man and accomplished it as a single person. So what a difference a single man can make when he lives his dream. Living your dream means when you try all the efforts, when you leave no stone unturned to fulfill your dream, that is living your dream. If you have a vision, you have a dream, and you do all the efforts to accomplish it, to achieve it, that is called as living his dream. And this is what Nek Chand did. So the Swiss Commission for UNESCO will be honoring him by way of European exposition of his works. So the Swiss Commission for UNESCO had decided that they will honor Nek Chand for his exponential work that he had done and which was termed as outsider art. How are they going to honor him? They were going to expose his works. Exposition of his works means to reveal his works to the whole world. How? By the 5-month interactive show Realm of Nek Chand, beginning October, will be held at leading museums in Switzerland. So, as you remember, I told you that this article was written in 2005, and therefore this Swiss Commission's exposition of Nek Chand's works was yet to happen, and therefore the author Brinda Suri has written that it will be a 5-month interactive show which will begin from October, and it will be held at leading museums in Switzerland, Belgium, France and Italy. The biggest reward is walking through the garden and seeing people enjoy my creation, Nek Chand says. So, what does this statement made by Nek Chand reveal of his character? That he was a very, very down-to-earth person, and he felt that his creation should give enjoyment to the people. And that is why when he was asked, how does he feel about it? So, he felt that the biggest reward that he was getting for his creation was to see the people enjoy his creation while he took a stroll in his garden. So children, this is all about the outsider art. Now let us just recapitulate the chapter. What have we studied in this chapter? The author has talked about the Chinese art, the method and vision of the Chinese artists or painters, and we have also read about European artists. Then comes the outsider art. Now art is not restricted. In modern world, art has taken different shapes. Art has become very digitalized, and you can see that the smileys made, you can see now everything is so computerized and modernized. Art has become very, very vast in the sense that it can be now adopted in any way that a person likes. So the artist does not have to be always a trained person to be an artist. You can make use of various methods to express your imagination and your vision. So this is all about the types of art that the author has discussed in this chapter, and you have also come to know about Taoism and San Shui. So we will now close the chapter. Therefore, I will be sending you the pictures of rock garden which you can see and enjoy. Maybe you may not have gone to Chandigarh to see this rock garden, but if ever you get a chance after the corona COVID-19 virus subsides and everything is okay, you can also go to Chandigarh and make a visit to this rock garden. But meanwhile, I'll be sending you a short video. You can watch and enjoy the various objects made by the stones, the tin, the zinc, the material and waste material used by Nek Chand. So thank you so much.